Hi, and welcome to the Diamond Report for Tuesday, July 11th, 2017. This is your host, Doug Diamond. Well, we've reached the 100th show. That's why we have the really cheesy confetti and balloons, but I thought we'd celebrate this one, so just sort of to mark it as a special occasion. 100 shows is a pretty big deal when you're making any sort of recordings, I think, anyway. So the story of the day here, President Trump and Melania tweet condolences over heartbreaking crash after Marine Corps KC-130 aircraft loaded with ammunition explodes at 20,000 feet, leaving 16 dead. And then Paul Martin here, who posted this article, is a ex-military person. He says, "Rest in peace, my brothers." Such a sad situation. We do indeed pray for all the families involved who lost loved ones in this accident, which, in my opinion, probably wasn't an accident. Likely there were people aboard or something aboard that they were carrying that the power structure wanted to get rid of. At least that's what comes to mind. You don't generally have KC-130s flying around exploding in midair, and a lot of times they're going to be carrying ammunition, so that doesn't really add up. Anyway, our heartfelt condolences definitely go out to all the people involved, and thank you for your service, people in the military. North Korea will be able to strike San Diego with a nuclear missile in just 2 years, U.S. monitoring group warns, after Kim Jong-un's latest deadly weapons test. So if they can reach San Diego, why couldn't they reach Los Angeles or San Francisco? I mean, just to single out San Diego here doesn't really make a lot of sense. And if you ask me, I don't think we're really being told the full story here about North Korea's capabilities. I do think that it's far worse than most people, most Americans at least, tend to think. Most people think that North Korea is stuck in the 50s with their technology. I, on the other hand, do not think that at all. I think they're far more advanced than what we're being led to believe. And one of the reasons I think that is that good old President Bill Clinton sold them technology, and they've also bought technology, or I should say acquired technology, from the Chinese and from other places, you know, so it's hard to say exactly what they can really do. Assuming it's going to be 2 more years before a missile could theoretically reach San Diego or wherever doesn't make much sense. I don't think we have that long. Hackers breached a dozen power plants in May. Could be a dry run for something bigger. That's on shtfplan.com. We are forced to strike back. Russia set to expel 30 U.S. diplomats and seize U.S. assets. That's on Zero Hedge. Stock slammed as Trump Jr. email confirms Russian government involvement. That's on Zero Hedge. And then boom, Donald Trump Jr. beats hashtag fake news and releases entire email chain on the meeting with the Russian lawyer. It's on the Gateway Pundit. And another nothing burger, Russian lawyer who met with Trump Jr. says, "I was not from the Kremlin." That's on Gateway Pundit. And here we go again. U.S. conducts successful rocket intercept test after North Korea revealed a nuclear missile which could reach Alaska. What's behind U.S. deploying Patriot missiles to the Baltics for the first time? That's on Sputnik News. And Russian Navy aviation monitor joint U.S.-Ukraine drills in the Black Sea. The DNC coordinated with Ukraine, the White House says, amid Trump-Russia collusion claims. That's on RT. Anti-Russian narrative will continue because everyone is afraid of the deep state. CNN reset its app to clear fake news reviews. Project Fear is back. Seething Farage launches savage attack on BBC's anti-Brexit bias. Oregon legislature passes a bill to decriminalize cocaine, meth, and heroin. That's on Zero Hedge. Austrian city bans pork in kindergartens to accommodate Muslim children. That's on Breitbart. Trump sued for blocking Twitter users. That's on Zero Hedge. From Michael Snyder of Into the American Dream, when I found out how members of Congress really spend their time, I just about threw up. Insidious leaders, how the last 5 U.S. presidents royally screwed up American food and medicine. That's on Natural News. Media blackout as Saudi Arabia commits a Holocaust on its own people. Bombshell report, DNC emails were hacked by Seth Rich, not Russia. DARPA reveals $65 million Matrix program to plug soldiers' brains directly into a computer. Voice-activated smart home technology used to make arrests in an assault case. That's on Activist Post. John Podesta exposed in massive conspiracy to deceive American people. That's on Freedom Outpost. Well, I thought conspiracies were only theories. How U.S. taxpayers are subsidizing a child rape epidemic at the UN. That's on Breitbart. Senate Republicans cancel first 2 weeks of August recess to work on legislation. That's on Zero Hedge. Yep, that's all we need is more legislation, more laws that we can all break without knowing. Gert Wilders introduces legislation to arrest jihadis before they kill. Sounds like pre-crime from the Minority Report. We're on the path to another Great Depression. That's on Zero Hedge. And Hannity goes off on Team Hillary's collusion with Ukrainian government officials. Where's the outrage? He asks. That's on the Gateway Pundit. Kaiser says, prepare for the systematic economic collapse, predictions and preparations. A down economy can stretch on for years. Is the U.S. economy on the brink of collapse? Just how bad will it get, and how will you and your family survive a financial crisis? And sort of an addendum to what I mentioned earlier about the North Korean nukes. From Dave Hodges, he says, breaking, North Korean nukes can reach Colorado. President Trump on Donald Jr. and the Russia email. I applaud his transparency. That's on Breitbart. Meanwhile, in Venezuela, the real Mad Max emerges. That's from Zero Hedge. Chinese billionaire warns America China has 25,000 spies who are ready to destroy the U.S. It's from shtfplan.com. X22 report, the economic reset has been planned, and the bankers who want to control it, the bad guys, time is up, grasping at straws. Environmental nightmare. Dozens of highly toxic substances have been found in tap water all over America. That's from Michael Snyder. New study suggests war lust may have cost Hillary Clinton the election. That's from Liberty Blitzkrieg. Trump to visit UK in early 2018 after rumors of cancellation. That's on RT. EU president says millions more migrants could come to Europe within 5 years. Everybody is forgetting that Clinton allies did the same thing as Donald Jr. That's on the Daily Caller. Anti-Trump feminist tells companies not to insure Russian ambassador's life. New York Times has neither seen nor read the Russian email to Donald Trump Jr. And Russian lawyer Veselnitskaya says, I have no connection to the Kremlin. New York Times hit piece on Donald Jr. is crumbling fast. Pat Buchanan at Buchanan.org asks, alone perhaps, but is Trump right? Has Trump read the crisis of the West correctly? Black Lives Matter leader accuses Hollywood of depicting black people as apes. Deletes a tweet after another attempt at race baiting goes hilariously wrong. This is from Paul Joseph Watson. Rush Limbaugh says the left has developed a genuine hatred for America. Radical left has shed its liberal disguise. Well, they didn't just develop it. They've had that hatred for America for decades. It's just gotten more noticeable and, I guess, worse to some degree, but it's been there all along, Rush. Army training urges soldiers to befriend trannies. Transgender soldiers asked not to modify or adjust behavior in any way. Emergency. Top billionaires ask Google and Facebook to censor the internet to push mainstream media lies. Media moguls are trying to destroy alternative media and revive the MSM. Globalists destroyed the Middle East to trigger Arab Spring. The Islamic invasion of Europe was orchestrated by the New World Order. How about this headline? Cancer more common than having children as Obamacare metastasizes. Cancer rates continue to increase as our environment becomes more toxic. That's right. It's in the air. It's in the food. It's in the water. It's in the drugs. It's in pretty much everything that we touch, breathe, eat, see. It's in everything. Not cancer, but all these harmful toxins. And it all builds up. I would suggest, if you haven't already, check out our the holistic health-based radio show that we do called Lost Arts Radio. You can find the website at lostartsradio.com and listen to Richard Sachs, who's the host of the show. He's a 50-year health scientist, and he has ideas on what to do, on how to prevent a lot of this toxicity that builds up in our bodies. Show Me Your Papers becomes Open Your Eyes as border sheriffs expand iris surveillance. The biometric frontier. Yeah, and when biometrics fail, then it will go to implants. And then when implants fail, either from non-use or from people refusing them, it'll go to the Mark of the Beast system. That's where we're headed, folks. Caught on tape, paid protesters get off bus, go to protest. Trump protesters bust in yet again. Sarin gas goes missing from U.S. Army proving grounds. Is a false flag coming? Or were dangerous chemical weapons simply misplaced? This is by David Knight of InfoWars. The power to tax is the power to destroy. The IRS continues to abuse American citizens. Colorado voters deregistering before rolls turned over to Election Integrity Commission. What are the Democrats trying to hide? Janet Yellen, false prophet of prosperity. Yellen's statement should send shivers down our spines. That's from Ron Paul. Breaking, Democrats call for criminal investigation of InfoWars, Drudge, and Breitbart. The FEC to lead Inquisition against alternative media outlets. That's what it sounds like, the Spanish Inquisition. Super rich are buying luxury apocalypse-safe bunkers. The luxury apartments were originally missile silos. That's on The Independent. Yeah, I've heard about that. There have been entire shows dedicated to how great some of these luxury apartments actually are. Pretty incredible. The left gained control, then lost their minds. Not only has dissent been demonized, but the dissenter has been dehumanized. RFK Jr. tells Tucker Carlson mainstream media won't allow both sides of the vaccine debate. Big Pharma is silencing vaccine skeptics. That's right, you cannot question whether vaccines are harmful. But actually, when you look at it, vaccines are a 200-year-old scam. It goes back to the late 1700s with Edward Jenner. Hillary Clinton plugs nasty woman shirt for Planned Parenthood. And I couldn't resist. I'm sure you'd want to see it. So there it is in all its glory. Trump weighing government-wide ban on Russian security software, according to a report. That's on the Hill. Senate Armed Services also moving to prohibit Pentagon from using the software. Billionaire Trump donor hires lobbyists to help vets. The firm will be advocating on efforts to increase access to mental health care for veterans. That's on the Hill. Space breakthrough. Scientists teleport a photon from Earth to orbit. Marks the first time an object has been teleported from our planet into space. Here we go, folks. Sounds like an interdimensional gateway. And welcome to CERN, right? Also could pass, I guess, as a portal or a Stargate. If you don't know about any of that stuff, I suggest visiting stevequayle.com for more information. And on the Hill, a bill allocates $1.6 billion for Trump's border wall. The House Appropriations Committee released a bill allocating $1.6 billion to begin construction. Sounds like it's going to happen. I really thought it never would, but I'm still a little skeptical about the whole thing. I mean, as far as whether or not it'll happen. From World Mercury Project, dispelling myths regarding the use of thimerosal in vaccines. Numerous news outlets promote vaccines as universally safe. That's right, they are safe and effective. That's what they say. But they're actually neither safe nor effective. Watch as U.S. intercepts projectile in test of missile defense system. U.S. test comes week after North Korea successfully launches first ICBM. There's a lot of posturing going on. Watch live. The media freaks out over Donald Trump Jr.'s fake Russia scandal. President's son publishes email exchange on Twitter. Trump Jr. did nothing wrong. It's a Russian hoax witch hunt. From the Daily Express, migrants to get 7-bedroom home while 1,100 Brits are on housing wait list. That sounds about right. British lawsuit raises new questions over John McCain's involvement with the Trump dossier. It's unclear exactly when McCain got his first look at the dossier. That's on Zero Hedge. Liberal legal scholar scoffs at claims that Donald Trump Jr. is guilty of treason. Does any of this constitute a clear crime or even a vague ink blot image of a crime? That's on the Daily Caller. And in case you missed it, about 2 a.m. in the morning, Central Time, there was a magnitude 6.3 earthquake that occurred just south of New Zealand. You can see it down there, stretching down toward Antarctica. Not a lot to report. It did not cause any sort of tsunami or anything weird like that. It was actually originally reported as a 6.8 and then downgraded to a 6.3. But just know it was a mid-size 6.0 earthquake, which makes the 4th earthquake like that size, I should say, in the last few days. And if we look at them here, here's the new one, and then we have the one up here, 6.5 up here at the Philippines. And then we have the deleted quake that I mentioned on the earthquake update several times in a row over the last few days. There was a deleted earthquake that they took off that was a 7.1, I think it was, right in here in Indonesia at the western side of Papua New Guinea. This is Papua New Guinea. It was right over in here. 7.1, I think it was, but they deleted the quake from the earthquake feeds. Anyway, so that's 3, and then we had the other 7.1 that occurred that was deleted up here north of Canada, which led to, in my opinion, led to the magnitude 6 that happened at Yellowstone that we saw a few days back, and that is right there. So anyway, it's been very active as far as large quakes lately, so we'll definitely keep a sharp eye on it, and we've still seen quite a few very deep quakes. You can see them out here extended off of the globe. Those mean that they're deep quakes, and they almost always result in a magnitude or 2 larger quake occurring as a result of these deep ones in the next 7 to 10 days. So there's 3 showing up there, but if I go back a little further, we're looking at a week's worth of quakes now, and you can see how many deep quakes we have on the globe. Slowing down because we've got so many quakes on here. But all of these right here, those are all deep quakes. And because there's so many, we're going to have to keep an eye out on the fact that they will cause shallow, larger movement in adjacent silent zones. So, again, quite a bit of activity in the large earthquake scale lately. So we'll keep watching it. In addition to the deep quakes that I was talking about, we do have a new magnitude 4.1 out here off the coast of Oregon. And you'll see, as a result of this, you'll see pressure move eastward from that. And we've already seen pressure transfer eastward from the magnitude 6 that occurred at Yellowstone. That pressure goes right down the edge of the North American craton. And that's why we're seeing magnitude 3s, not only in Oklahoma like we sort of normally see at this point, but also a magnitude 3.3 that happened up here in New York State. So that is right along the edge of the craton that we talk about so much. There's also magnitude 2 up here in Canada. So you can see that pressure transferring from west to east. Okay, that's all for today's Diamond Report. Thanks for listening and watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.